I might have to wear those Muslim dresses, or like, and then what would my family think? Like, I just thought, I hope I wouldn't be causing a huge war. And I've always dreamt that I want my children to grow up like this and this and this. I didn't even know I'll fall for someone who is a different faith. You need to know that if you avoid it in your head, you're gonna have to deal with it in person. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Genuine Me. Today I'm going to share with you a part of myself, a really private part of myself. I'm going to share with you my experience in an interfaith relationship. No, it's not the relationship that I'm in right now. It's a relationship that I've had in my past. I'm going to tell you how it was for me. I want to be positive. I don't want to come out like, oh, it's all challenges, it's all negative. No, it was a challenging aspect in my relationship. The fact that we have different religions. It's just how it was for me. That's what I'm gonna share. But I want to say that I do believe that there are ways to make it work. Maybe towards the end of the video I'll share on that. When you are raised in a certain religion, it kind of builds who you are. It builds your identity, it builds your morality, it creates your values. It kind of molds the person that you become. The challenges are not the same for everybody because I think it will depend on how rooted you are in your religion. Some people, I'm just saying it as it is. Some people, for example, I'm a Christian. I have seen people who would say, yes, I'm a Christian, but it's not that they abide by the Christianity principles all the way in. They just know that if I'm referring to a God or a divinity, I mean this God. I mean the Christian God in the Christian faith. But it's not that they're so rooted that they're like, I'm gonna do everything by the Bible. I'm gonna do everything that the commandments say, So I think that aspect also comes in when you're saying, can an interfaith relationship work or not work? Some people, they'll just pray to this God, but it's not that they are rooted in the faith. So they might not even find it challenging to be in a relationship with somebody who's deeply rooted in their religion. But for me, I grew up really rooted. I had all my feet in. I had everything in. So I'm letting you know this before I tell you my challenges, how rooted I was. I was so rooted. I've been going to church since I was, since I can't even remember what age. Before I even did grade 1, I was going to church every single day of my life. I was raised with the Christian principles and Christian values, and I had my idea of one day when I grow up, I want to get married to a man like this and this and this, and I want to be able to pray with him. I want to be able to do 1, 2, 3 with him. I want us to go to church together. I want us to build a family where we can go to church together. You know what I mean? So that's how rooted I was, which is why I say for me it was a challenging experience mostly. I was dating a Muslim whilst I myself am a Christian, and one of the biggest challenges that I experienced, I would say, is emotional support. I felt like sometimes when he's going through a hard time, I felt like I want to support my boyfriend. I felt like I wanted to be his emotional pillar, I wanted to be there for him all in, I wanted to be able to calm him down. And most of the time, I would want to do it the way that I do it for myself, because the way I calm myself, takes me back to my Christian principles, my Christian practices. I used to sing worship songs. I'll listen to worship songs. I'll pray. I will remind myself what the scriptures say. In the day of trouble, I will save you. Call unto me, what. I knew the scriptures, and it is in those moments when, when you start dating someone of a different religion, you don't yet see that there's gonna be challenges. You just feel what you feel. You feel attracted to this person. You feel like, I want to know this person. You just love this person until little things happen and you want to be there for him. I wanted to be there for him, but I couldn't support him emotionally to say, the Bible says this, so don't lose hope. Don't feel discouraged, and I wanted to say like, let's pray together. I wanted to say, the ways that I knew how to motivate myself, how to pull myself out of stress, and I wanted to do the same thing for him. I couldn't, and that was so painful for me, like literally so painful to watch him go through something that I feel like I can definitely pull him out if only he was the same religion as me. So in those times, I would kind of like try with other ways which I'm not familiar with, like to say, don't lose hope. If you do this and this, things are gonna get better. But it didn't kind of feel like I'm being myself. It's one of the things that made me feel, you know what, I realized I can't fully be myself with this person. I felt like a part of me is locked inside. A part of me is like, I can't use a part of me. I can't fully be myself with him. I can't fully be there for him the way I wanted to be. But yeah, I hope that you get it. Because of our religious backgrounds, I couldn't emotionally be there for him the way that I wanted to be. That is point number one of the challenges. And then the other thing is, I knew my family. I knew my family so much. I knew that if I would tell them that he's Muslim, it would be a huge problem. So for the longest time, I didn't tell my family. For the longest time, I just showed them his pictures. I told them about him. I kind of tried to make them fall in love with him before actually telling them the big news that, guys, we are two different religions. He's Muslim. So I remember I told my sister, and okay, I have three sisters. So I told the sister that I knew, with her religious standing, she would not be too strict on me. She would not be like, what the hell do you think you're doing? But I knew one day I'm gonna have to tell everybody. I have to tell my family, and I knew it's gonna be a big deal. But I believe that my family would sort of respect my decision. But if you are in an interfaith relationship, or you're considering being in an interrelationship, you should be open to the challenges. Just know, when it comes to things like this, it's not just gonna be about the two of you. It's going to go all the way back into like your family, your circle. Will they accept him? Will he feel accepted? Will his family accept you? Or is it gonna be smooth sailing? Even for him, like, he had to tell his family that I'm a Christian. It wasn't like an easy thing. And I think up until the end of the relationship, he didn't tell them. Like, I don't know. That's how hard it was. He was from a very strict family, but he really liked me. So he was just taking a step of faith. But we did encounter this challenge, which is pressure from the family. Another challenge that I experienced in my interfaith relationship was cultural differences. Not really cultural, but religious differences. I would say the good part about us is Muslims and Christians, we're sort of like, these religions are relatives, like they're close, like they sort of had like a similar foundation, and then they just decided to split like this. Few differences. Like, I just thought about it. Most of the challenges I experienced were going on in my head. Like, when I think about, girl, what are you even doing? I mean, what would be required from me by his family if he were to marry me, for example? What must I abide to? You know what I mean? I might have to wear those Muslim dresses, or like, and then what would my family think? Like, I just thought, I hope I wouldn't be causing a huge war, because there is a lot of expectations from our family. I guess family is one of the biggest challenges. I know at this point I'm not really talking about family, I'm talking about cultural and religious differences, but still it involves family mostly, because I felt like we could feel like we're fine, we could feel like we can work it out, but our culture, culture is mostly like, it concerns family, the people around us, like the weddings, what the other family expects, what the other family expect, how I'm expected to carry myself. I don't know. I never even really went deep into research or even asking him what that would be. It was just going on in my head, and it was a worry. Like, I was wondering if I would be able to manage whatever it is that would come with us being together. Let's go to the biggest challenge, is a deal breaker for me. It was the wake up call for me. That is perspectives on parenting. Dude, I got my wake up call. Like, I was chewing this for the longest time. Like, the more I felt for him, the more I felt like, if this gets to where it's going, what's gonna happen when you have kids? What's gonna happen? Knowing myself, knowing my values, knowing my priorities, I was like, what's going to happen? So I decided to ask him. I was like, what are we gonna do when we have kids? Who are the kids going to listen to? Like, which God are they going to pray to? Are they gonna come to church with me, or are they gonna go to church with you? And I was really concerned, and I felt like I want to let it out. And he told me that the children will decide for themselves when they grow up. But for me, it was a really difficult thing to accept. I found it hard to accept that, because like growing up, I'm a human being. I have desires, I have dreams, and I've always dreamt that I want my children to grow up like this and this and this. I didn't even know I'll fall for someone who is a different faith. So it was a really painful pill to swallow to hear him say that. I don't know what I was expecting him to say, because he also loves his religion, he loves his faith. He can't just be like, oh, they will go with you. He was raised a certain way, he has dreams, he has desires, and I think that was the best answer that he could give. Problem is, I couldn't accept it. I couldn't let go of me. I couldn't let go of the fact that I honestly believe children, they don't know anything. That's why we decide everything for them. That's why we decide which school they should go to, what sports activities they should try if they don't yet have any idea. Like, religion is a huge thing. I was wondering, like, how are they going to grow up? How are they going to be grounded? What's going to create that sense of morality if they don't yet have a decided religion that they're growing under? I don't mean to be controlling or anything. I just feel like children need to be guided the same way we were guided, and I felt like I couldn't just let them choose for themselves. Honestly, I think I was selfish in this thing. I honestly want them to grow up Christian. That's how I felt, and I couldn't accept it any other way. I'm not saying that he was wrong. I feel like he really gave the best answer, but I just couldn't let go of me. They should be understanding. They should be at the point where they understand what they're choosing. That would be after a very long time. What about when they are younger and they need guidance? They need to pray. Who are they going to pray to? How would we raise them in the in-between? That's what I was wondering. What would we guide their morality to when we are raising them? Because the way I was raised with Christian principles from the go, from since I was a child, like since I was 5 years old. My mom would read the Bible for me. She would tell me, this is why you mustn't beat others. This is why you must be kind. She would read me stories in the Bible about Sarah, about different things that happen in the Bible, and she would show me the values that I must have. The morality of our home and our household was coming from our religious principles. So in the meantime, I wondered like, how would we raise our kids? Would we kind of like teach them principles from different religions and kind of found a middle ground? And how would we ground them? Like, how would they learn their values? Because I feel like most of those things, you learn them from a very young age, and they create your sense of morality and values and priorities and the do's and don'ts in life, what is good, what is not good. So that was my concern, but I wouldn't say that this is not something that can be worked out. I just wanted things to be the way I wanted them to be. I wanted things to be the way I've always dreamed for them to be. That was my case. So the other challenge that we experienced was different values. We had different values, different expectations, priorities. Sometimes I find that the thing that's most important to me is not as important to him because of our different values, our different priorities from our different religions. What my religion presses as a must is not pressed as a must to him. Instead, his religion is pressing something else. That was one of the challenges that we experienced. I can get more into detail about it, but I just want to let you know that those things do happen in interfaith relationships. One of the challenges I had was a fear not more so an experience, like, when you're just thinking it through, like what's gonna happen, what. So my fear was the code of conduct. Like, I wondered what would be expected from me if I am married to him. His family, what would they expect from me? How would I be expected to carry myself? You can't be so sure when you are entering a family of a different faith. I felt so unsure if I would be carrying myself the proper way. Also, they mostly believe in covering yourself, covering your body, and I'm used to wearing my normal casual clothes. And it's a part of me, and what makes me feel beautiful, makes me feel put together, is the way that I dress sometimes. And sometimes I want to expose my legs, I want to expose this. I didn't know if I would even have that privilege if I went on marrying him, but those were things that I was just thinking in my head. When you are getting into an interfaith relationship, you have to normalize, think things through. Don't avoid the truth. Don't avoid certain things that come to your head, that come to your heart. You need to know that if you avoid it in your head, you're going to have to deal with it in person. Anyway, so enough about the challenges. Now let's get into how can we make it work. If you are in an interfaith relationship, or you are considering joining one or having one, how can you make it work? I believe that to make it work will definitely be up to the both of you. There's no secret recipe, no specific way that you can make it work. It all depends on who you are, who he is, how rooted are you into your relationship, how rooted are you into your faith, and how rooted is he into his faith. Because some people, they just pray to God, like they pray to the Christian God, but it's not that they live by the Christian principles, but they know, if I'm saying God, this is who I'm praying to. So such a person would not really have more challenges with someone from a different faith, because they don't have the conflicting values in the first place. So one thing that you can do to try to make it work, try to understand the other person's beliefs. Ask them why they believe what they believe. Be interested in them. After all, you love them, you want to make it work, you want to spend your life together. Understand who they are, what they stand for. That's something that can bring you guys together and make you stronger. Him understanding you and you understanding him. Another thing is respect the other person. Respect their beliefs, respect their space. Give them space when they need space, because obviously if you're from different religions, you have different practices. Give them space to do what they feel like they have to do according to their religion, and do what you have to do according to your religion. Make it work. Make an atmosphere of love and acceptance. I accept you as you are. I accept your religion. I accept your beliefs. And I appreciate that you accept me the way I am, and you accept what I believe in. Another thing that is very important, acknowledge the differences. Acknowledge the fact that you are from two different religions, so there's a lot that is going to be different. Kind of confront those differences and speak about them. What are we going to do when it's like this and this? Like parenting perspective. So when we have children, what are we going to do? Speak it out, talk about it, try to find a common ground. Try to agree on things, try to agree on your differences. If you can agree on your differences, on the little things that can be the hiccups, that can be the downsides of being in an interfaith relationship, then I don't see any problem that the relationship wouldn't work. One other thing I want to say in conclusion is that understand that you're in an interfaith relationship, so there will be a lot of disagreements here and there, not just between the two of you, even from your families. They might expect certain things from you guys. For you guys, you might agree and say, this is okay, but understand that it might not be okay with your families. Your families may still require you to do things that you don't want to do, or your families might disagree with certain things. As long as you are prepared and you know what comes with your choice. That is all from me today. I was just sharing my experience and what I went through, what I felt, and what I think can help in an interfaith relationship. But let me hear your opinion. Comment it down below in the comments. And I will be really happy to see your comments. I will be really happy and I will respond. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Stay genuine.